I've been a busy girl. I've been a busy girl. I've been a busy girl. Okay, let me stop. Hey, you guys. It's your girl, Latanya, host of Infused Queen Tea Podcast. And we are rolling with Latanya. Vibes. And we're back for another episode. And I promised y'all I was going to give y'all 7 episodes at least in 2024. And we're added to the collection today. Let me go ahead and get in my spot. And before we set the scenery, we're going to set the scenery. Okay? Welcome to Queen Bob's Boutique if you want to know what's behind me. But if you don't, then don't worry about it. You know, I just want to care. It's here. And there's IKT merch back there, a little bit of stuff, you know. Don't worry about that though. Don't worry about that though. Okay. Let me. You know, that retrograde energy, table might try to fold on me or something. I don't know. I just wanted to be safe. How are you guys? How y'all doing? What? And what happened? And you grew past that shit? You finally started that motherfucking venture, girl? You actually took time for yourself and you said no. Girl, thank y'all for the catch up. I knew if I was doing okay, y'all was doing okay, we was doing okay. All right. So we are going to start off the episode with the intentional strand, which is going to be, I have 2 methods. There's a method to my madness. There's a method for all the girls. Okay. And so I have it in 2 forms. 2 forms. One form is my favorite form, the flower form. And it's cakes. It's a hybrid strand by Certera Wellness, which currently they've been having me in a chokehold, but they've been having me in a chokehold. I have no complaints currently. Then I got this cute little lighter thing from, I think this was during 420. They gave me this joint during one of my little shopping pickups on that day. So boom, we got the little lighter to set the tone. But your girl decided she wanted to break out her machinery. I wanted to break out the machinery for this episode just in case, because it's about to get deep. Okay. I know right now I'm giving high spirits. She's happy to be here. And I am wholeheartedly, but this episode is definitely going to be a journey. It's in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month. It's in honor of all the survivors of suicide, suicidal thoughts and ideation. It's for the people. It's for the people in general. Anybody that suffers with mental health concerns, or anybody who is a supporter of people who have mental health concerns, we love you. And this episode is for you. Okay. I also basically, what I told you, I had 2 methods. I have my little Zenko machine that I got for my birthday last year or whatever. They have these the carts that they sell. I basically buy it. It attaches into the machine. Boom. It's kind of sticky. I'm not going to touch it because I just, hit it a few seconds ago. So it got a little bit of oil on the top. But boom, you basically attach your pin top there. This thing goes back into where it needs to. You grab your thing, your glass. They have 2 that come with this little machine. Boom. Oh, it's already on. See, I told you I just hit it a few seconds ago. Okay, I didn't even have to hit the blank because that hit me first. So basically, I got the same strand. This is cakes as well. This is just inside cart form. So yeah, that sets the intentional strand. It's a nice vibe. Cakes is one of my favorite hybrids because it isn't one of those that leans more indica. It does not. It has a little bit more sativa, but with the sativa that I can handle, which means I don't feel like I'm like anxious or over mowing the lawn with gasoline draws on type shit. Like you just be so sativa is not one of my favorites. I like sativa in a balance, like in a hybrid. I don't like sativa by itself. So yeah, cakes is that happy medium for Latanya vibes. And I think y'all didn't see that. You didn't see that. All right, so I'm gonna light the blunt, and we're gonna go ahead and get into the episode title. I knew it was gonna hit me. I always be trying to keep every time I use any glassware, right? I'm gonna cough. I don't know, like I can't build my lungs up to that. Ooh, hold on. I ain't got the capacity for my lungs. Because I like these. But we're trying to transition. So y'all see the transition right now? Like I'm trying to lean off of these and predominantly do more other consumption methods. Okay, whatever. I noticed my own progress. Anyways, the whole reason why we're jumping on this episode today, I had a few episodes that I did promote previously that I did not upload. And the reason why I did not decide to upload those episodes is because in the midst of recording, promoting, and pursuing those previous episodes that will still come out, but they will just come out after this one, there was a situation that occurred that literally just like changed the trajectory of how I've been living life, especially for the last like 10 years. But also it just kind of opened up the idea of what can you do? Like, what else can I do? And not in a, well, what can you do type of way, but now that you have this type of awareness, what are you going to do with this information? So the title of the episode is The Girl That Held a Mirror to Me. And I'm gonna hit the one because listen, when I tell you the situation, so I'm gonna get into the situation, but to just in generalize like the entire situation as a whole, I guess. I went through my own spiritual journey within that I kind of was scared to even visit because I understood the wounds that it would probably unlock that I like to say that I healed from, but I realized I just run from them because they still pop up in different forms. For the spiritual girls that get it, you get it. But let's honor the one and let's honor our girl. So for the girl who held the mirror to me, this one is for you, baby. And if you don't smoke, baby, this is the highest form of praise that Latanya can give you if I'm giving you this boy. Okay. So let's get into it. A few weeks ago, I had found myself in a space of feeling like I'm ready. Like there's no more motivational speeches that you can listen to. There's not enough paper that you can write a plan on until you decide to actually do something with the plans that you have written before yourself before. Okay. And the before is to reinstate. A lot of times, I don't know if other people go through it, but I have a thing of when something happens, or say I plan something out, right? And once I finally have this experience, I go into deep reflection. And sometimes I get so caught up in how the story turned out that I try to create my plans, whatever plans I have next, based off of that experience. And it goes into a dissected mode to where I'd be like, well, you had this type of person around you and you had this, and this is the type of food you was eating. I'm being dead ass. It gets so deep. I'll be like, well, you weren't doing this and you weren't doing that. So because you did not do this, this is the reason why you had this result. I'll go into a whole accountability fit that I really mainly and primarily do by myself, which is why I do go into isolation a lot. I don't feel like it's the people around me or the community around me's burden to carry. I feel like a lot of things that I probably went through in my life, now understanding accountability in a different form, that it was my fault, but not in a your fault, you're a bad person, you allow this to happen to you, but more in the understanding of you did not have the tools, or maybe you were too, I guess, involved in fear to think differently or to choose differently, or maybe you thought in a lack mindset, which that's something I'll talk about a lot. People like to think I'm crazy when I talk about it, but it does encompass your life if you don't, I guess, face it head on instead of like allowing it to fester into different, I guess, activities or ways that, or characteristics about yourself that technically are not characteristics. You just kind of wear them as like trauma badges, I guess. So like saying, I don't trust people because I have these many reasons to not trust people, and then finding more reasons in your life. Like every situation that you will attract in your life looks like that specific state, because it's like you're reinstating to yourself, this trauma is true. This is me. This is what I accept and deserve, which this is deeper than what I'm saying. Like I'm speaking very general because I also don't like to impose my own experience on everybody. So let's get into it. I was going through a little phase where I was just ready to really take steps in my podcast. I was ready to maybe find another way about going about it. I didn't want to just sit in front of the camera and talk all the time. I didn't want to always have guests on. I kind of just wanted to try something different, right? And in that, I invited one of my friends. I was like, one of my podcasting friends. I said, hey, I realized in that space, knowing myself in a better way than I did in the past. The past, I operated in a very, very hyper independent mindset. And so now I'm being more open, or choosing to be more open, because it's a choice. Choosing to try to be more open about accepting help and support and involving community in aspects of things I want to pursue, or even like just support in my own life. So, lost the ashy. So fast forward, I invite my friend out. I said, hey, I want to shoot some podcasts downtown. I would love for you to come. I know that like this shit can do really well, especially if I have you to kind of bounce ideas off of. So we proceed to go. I'm going to kind of leave out a lot of other, I think these certain stories in that day I will bring up at a later date, but I kind of want to stay on topic and focus with the girl that held the mirror to me. So that day, that evening, we basically get ready, and we're about to slide out to downtown Orlando. And if everybody been to downtown Orlando, you know exactly the spot I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Beecham, that little out bar circle, tier nightclub. The cigar shop is literally where I was posted up at. I was out that way. I think I gotta light my blunt because I be like, okay, let me hit it. I'm the girl that I bring my own blunt, and I don't like smoking in groups because I know that I'm going to probably hog the blunt. And so I'd rather talk my own blunt out and not hear you complain about it. Gotcha. Anyways, we head out, and I kind of was nervous just because I had some previous situations that happened downtown, spiritual situations that kind of made me stray away from that area. And we'll talk about those on another day too. But I kind of was already in a nervous space when I went down there. If you guys have ever been to downtown Orlando in the space I'm talking about, if you've never been there, it's a vibe. It's fun, especially if you're in part of the younger crowd. I guess I am. I'm an auntie now, so some of the shit downtown, I just be like, this is not fun. And the amount of energy that's being passed and transferred down here is not good energy. And I guess now that I'm more aware of those things, it kind of sucks the fun out of it, you know? So me and him, we're downtown, we vibing. He's over here building me up like, girl, you had to get these podcasts. We ain't leaving till you get some. I'm like, ow. I love a friend that's going to hold you accountable. So for the friend that held me accountable that night, you know who you are. Thank you so fucking much. But basically, he held me accountable. We're not leaving until we do these pods. So we post up in a spot that I felt like would be generally a good ass space to do an episode, just because the background, the amount of the people coming through, I felt like it'd just be tea, right? So as we're sitting there, I'm a people watcher. I literally will scope out every fucking thing as something that everything's falling on the ground. When it all falls down. Okay. Ooh, go about that. Okay, anyways. So I'm just people watching, and I'm just assessing the energy, bro. And I'm feeling it. I am a heavy ass empath, and I'm becoming more hyper aware of it, to where I see how it like even seeps into how my energy changes, like in those rooms. And what I mean by that, I guess I can further explain that, is before I used to be so unaware of why I felt so uneasy. I would be like anxious. I would be like looking for exits. I felt like it was me. Something was wrong with me. have social anxiety. And I think that now, and this is for the people who get it, I'm starting to think that maybe I am not socially anxious. Maybe I'm just hyper in tune to the energy around me, and the energy that is present is a heavy energy. It's a heavy spirit. I'm gonna sit in silence for that one. So coming to that agreement, I realized maybe you're not socially anxious. Maybe you just need to start really paying attention to how you feel and figure out why or remove yourself. You know, Latanya, I'm a Leo. I'm an explorer. Type shit, okay? So I go and we sit in there, and I notice it's basically the day that the Magics had a home game, and they whipped that ass. Okay, so every Magic fan was downtown, and it was like ambushing downtown. But out of all of the blue I seen, I noticed one girl, and something about her energy made me be like, hyper focused on her. Like I was able to literally tune out the scene and just focus on her. And the first things, the first thought, the first voice I heard, which was a strong voice, was, "Where is her friends?" And I'm not saying it in the way that a lot of girls, like when I was downtown that day, I noticed people, I'm not going to say women, people pass so many judgments on people just looking, right? But no one actually takes the time to understand a person that they're actually picking up on. And so something about that, when I said it, wasn't in a judgment form, but it was in a form of concern. And I literally looked at my friend. I was like, "Hey, do you notice that?" And she's stumbling. I'm talking about, it's like we're at the corner right there. We're at the cigar shop. So y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. There's that light. She's literally stumbling across, and the people that's walking around here are just making space. Like I'm watching it. It's literally like Sims, right? So it's like everybody is controlling their character, and they're treating her. Oh, look, there's the lighter. They're treating her like a CPU. Like she ain't even irrelevant unless you really want to click on her and have a conversation type stuff. And I watched her, but then she passed, so I kind of let it go. We're continuing on the night, and my vibes are just so high. I'm like forever grateful. I'm even expressing to my friend like how grateful and appreciative I am of him and this opportunity in this space, and how we had manifested that moment because we had been talking about doing that type of vibe. And so just to see it come to fruition, seeing myself like do it, especially in the space that I was in, I was just really proud. So we finally do all the episodes. We're leaving, and now we turn down the corner, and I want to give more reference. We're right there where the Deeply Cafe is. So if you guys have ever been downtown, there's the library on one street, and then on that next street, there is the cafe and a nice hotel. And at the very end of that street is a bar. Bars closed. Everything on that street is basically closed, but basically downtown during the weekends, they always have, and especially during events, all of the parking garages are always open to everyone. So you got to pay. You got to pay. Let me make that clear. You got to pay. But basically, if you were over there, you were going back to your car where you're leaving downtown. So me and him, we walk in, and I notice these cars are like slowing down, and it's like a weird how they're going about things. I'm like, why are they being weird? Like, what's in the street? Being the inquisitive queen that I am. And I look, and I notice that it's the girl trying to throw herself in traffic. Now, I'm going to set the tone. It was me, my friend. We have oncoming traffic of people who's leaving downtown, whether they might have drink and they driving. I'm just saying it's a lot of chaos for you to be in the street walking, and we not near like where they actually have it blocked off. And so, and there's also a few people that's around. I'm just setting the tone. I noticed as the girl's throwing herself in the street, across the street at the hotel was a few security guards and people who probably were staying at the hotel as well. Being Latanya and remembering being in that space, not have never thrown myself in front of a car, and that's no judgment into her, but saying that attempting suicide in the past, I knew what emotions were running through her, and I knew that she wasn't thinking, that her emotions and her mind has taken over at this point. That wasn't her soul. And so I did what I thought anybody would do. And instead of being an onlooker, I decided to push her ass out the street. We talking like we decided to take that back to like JHHS dogs. Okay. I was like, let me get on that front line because this bitch is not going to kill herself today. Okay. Not on my watch. I push her out the street and I just literally like grip her because I was already gripped and I didn't want her to feel like I was attacking her. So I pushed her out the street, held her. I'm like, hi, my name's Latanya. Because I didn't introduce myself. I understand okay, I'm stand up. I tell y'all I'm 5'7". No one believes me, but I'm a 5'7" woman. But me and some heels, I'm definitely like a 6-foot queen, okay? So you see this 6-foot queen coming at you, black as hell, just dashing across the street, trying to get to you. I need to introduce myself so you feel safe. And also because I realized not one person had interacted with this woman. And if they had an interaction with her, it wasn't a pleasant one. So I look at her and something about me that my grandmother had told me about a long time ago and that my mother had always reinstated is when you're dealing with people, look them in their eyes. And when I say that is because a lot of times when you look someone in their eyes, especially when they're communicating, you can see a presence about them. You can see a life in their eyes. You can see a soul. And a lot of times when people are either under a heavy energy, under a heavy spirit, or lost, or there's not even a soul there anymore, or possessed, because I like to leave that like, hey, possessed, you can look in their eyes and it's straight blank. And there's a lot of people that I came across in my lifetime that were straight blank, and I never paid attention to it, even though I was raised with those words. But being back in the space that I'm in now, I pay attention to everything that my grandmother and my mom had spoken to me. And that was the first thing I did was look in her eyes. And it broke my heart because she was blank. And what I mean by it broke my heart because she was blank, because I realized that whatever she had been through, baby was tired of fighting. And I remember how I had felt and what I might have looked like when a lot of the people in my life had probably tried to intervene in those situations. And that's why I don't take suicide lightly in general. People think that based off of my past, that it was just oh, she wants attention. But they didn't understand the demons that I was facing and how many times someone made a mockery of my experience, which had led me to that space. And so I finally asked the lady. She was young. I'm going to explain what she looked like. It was a young Spanish woman, maybe about 5'2", beautiful hair, short curly hair. And I remember asking her, I'm like, what's going on? And she said, it's time for me to go to the light, smiling. Straight like that, it's time for me to go to the light. And I took the biggest motherfucking breath because I realized, like, I didn't feel like I had the tools to be able to pull someone off when I barely could pull myself off the edge. And that's genuinely why I said, like, this woman was so reflective to me. So she's telling me the reason why is that she had recently gave up her custody to her child to either her mother or the father's mother, and the child's father had left. Whether that be he is gone in the physical realm or he's just gone because he's out of their reality. But when she said that, I looked at her and I said, Mommy, I know exactly what you're going through. I've been there, but like, I got you. Like, I was basically trying to offer myself up to her, meaning if we got to sit here all night for us to get through this, if we got to sit here for 2 days to get through this, I'm here. Because I wish that somebody would have did that for me. And a lot of times when you heal and grow through things, you need moments like that to show you how strong you are and the fact that you can get through it. Because I remember being in that space and feeling like that had to be the last day. And I remember going to people that I thought would tell me that it wasn't my last day, for them to harness more energy from me being hurt than to actually pick me up. And I'm okay with shedding these tears because they're healing tears. But because I knew I could get through it, I just wanted that for her. And I didn't want it to seem selfish or like it, because I did it, you can't. It was more of the, because I wish I had somebody stopping me, I'm going to tell you what I wish I would have heard. Shit, I had to tell myself, to keep that soul there. And I remember she basically was like, "It's okay. I'm okay. It's my time to go. It's okay. Go back to your boyfriend. Go back to your boyfriend." And at that time, I realized that's where, like, when you have to respect and understand people's illusions, realities, because at the end of the day, it's always going to come off as an illusion to someone else. Like, I realized what my reality is. That man is not my man. That is my friend. Um, and I'm also a woman who has walked and is currently walking in them shoes that you walking into. Beautiful. I know that my outside, my exterior doesn't show that, but it's just because like that inside work I had to do to get me to show it on the outside. Because I promise y'all, when I was going through what she was going through, I did not look like the beautiful woman I am today. You've seen it in my skin, you've seen it in my weight, you've seen it in my demeanor, you've seen it in my smile, you've seen it in my eyes. And I remember she kept saying, "Go back to your boyfriend. It's okay. Go back to your boyfriend." And I kept telling her, "Mommy, that's not my man. I promise you. I was just in your shoes a few weeks ago, contemplating. And right now, I'm still trying. And I want you to try too, Mama, because I promise you, there's a lot of more people who feel like you. They just don't know how to say it. They don't know who to say it to. Or opposite to that, they distract themselves. They distract themselves with sex. They distract themselves with relationships. They distract themselves with friendships. They distract themselves with career, family. Like, they distract themselves. And sometimes distraction, it appeases the mind at that time. But when you got to lay down, or when those moments in life that normally hit you, that normally wouldn't make you even waver in your soul and in your spirit and in your physical walk, they will make you waver because you really didn't go deal with what you was really needed to deal with. And I'm someone that I can speak from existence or from experience. I have done the whole masking situation. I'm not someone that likes to like quote um, too much fact and as not fact, I wouldn't say, but I don't like to kind of quote other people's like research and stuff like that. I just kind of speak off of the experiences, and the human experience is literally the best way to connect to anyone. And people wonder why right now we are lacking, why there's like this big ass this sensitive cloud over the world right now, and it's just because we aren't connected as humans. And so fast forward, going back into the story, she basically walks away and she's trying to walk into the garage. She grabs her keys out like she's about to drive. And when me and her were communicating back and forth at the street, she had let me know that she had basically drank. She's like, "Girl, I had 12 Long Islands. I just probably need to go somewhere and lay down." And so I was, at that time, this is how we transitioned. When she told me that, I said, "Well, I'll walk you to your car." There's no reason, because like I said earlier to myself, where are her friends? Um, I offer my services, ma'am. I'll walk you to your car. Or rather, I just want to see that you get to where somewhere. I don't want to see you just wandering the streets with already a chaotic ass energy present down here. It's just adding to your madness, baby. And you don't need that. You need some light in your life right now. So that's when she started walking towards the parking garage. I'm walking behind her, but not too far, but not too close. Me and her are still talking. She walks into the parking garage, and I realize that she isn't done trying to complete her mission, which means that the conversation was not going like I thought it was. And at that moment, when we were walking to the parking garage, I started contemplating who all I could call, who I would be able to connect with to help her. What are the resources that are active and live, that are working? And the only person I really thought to call was the police. Yeah. So I called the police. because I realized that this is bigger than me. I do need more support. I'm now following this woman alone. Everyone that's watching her, they either watch her and be like, oh, there's just another drunk woman, or they're staring at her infatuation with what this woman is doing and going through. And that just, at that time, that's not sitting well with my spirit either. Because I'm like, how is there this many motherfuckers downtown and you telling me not one soul feels convicted to try to help this woman or even see what's going on? All right. Um, I'm following her into the thing. I'm calling the police. I'm on the phone with the dispatch and I'm like, hi. I'm telling them exactly where I'm at. I'm just going to be real with y'all. I'm telling these people exactly where I'm at. They're acting like they don't know where the fuck I'm at. Huh? Who? What? Mind you, there's like 50 fucking squad cars and how many police that they constantly have downtown. So, and even then, where me and her was, originally when I seen this woman, cops were there. Fast forward, I'm seeing this woman again. Cops are not too far because we just walked past the line to get to our car. So that means she had to walk past them to get where she was because we were in the same area. So I'm just saying, all these cops and the fact that we do have funding for situations, crisis units and stuff like that, I'm just trying to figure out, help me, please. I know God, but I'll be slipping. I don't think he placed me in the predicament to be handling it by myself. And now I'm following her, and she's trying to throw herself in front of the cars leaving the garage. I'm behind her, mind you. I'm over here like they can see my big black ass, and it's lit up. At least, God bless. God, thank you for that moment. The garage was lit up, so I'm walking behind her, looking like a big ass black angel right here. I'm melanin angel, trying to protect my girl because I'm just like, at least if she's maybe she's walking to her car. But then it started setting in my mind because being downtown, working downtown, going to school downtown, I've seen some things that baby, I have not seen nowhere else. And that's just a Florida thing. I know that I have to realize that baby, you not in Kansas anymore. You're not in Kentucky no more. But no, genuinely, I have seen so many things down here that I just be like, ain't no way, boy. I got the idea basically that a lot of people, especially downtown Orlando, and I don't know if a few of you have seen the videos that have circulated online. I know there's a lot of social media pages for Orlando that share a lot of things that happen here. But I don't feel like they spread enough light on it. It's just kind of like clickbait. Let's go to the next thing. But people here like to use the garages to jump off of and commit suicide. I have witnessed someone jumping off and committing suicide, and I've seen more videos than one of people jumping off, killing themselves, and people just standing around watching. Now, I understand there's only so much people can do, but also I just believe we've all had moments in our life that you wish someone pulled you off of a ledge. It might not be a literal ledge, but it might have been a mental or spiritual ledge. You wanted somebody to intervene, whether that be God or whether it be his people. You wanted someone to intervene. And so seeing how I was walking up this thing and I'm like, baby, we get to the third floor. The police are still playing on my motherfucking phone. I'm getting upset because I'm literally feeling this woman's pain. I'm like, baby, you are no good you are no good to that baby if you're not here. And because that's something that keeps me, like genuinely keeps me. And she basically continued to walk. I finally get fed up with talking to these mugs on the phone. That after all of this, they're finally like, well, so what's your name? And I'm like, so now are y'all trying to act like I'm a psychotic motherfucker? Because I'm sober. I came down here sober. And that's why I came down here sober. Are you kidding me? So I hang up. And as I hang up and I'm turning around because I'm hoping that the police are coming, I'm also making sure someone's not driving around. I turn back around. And like I said earlier, my biggest fear is now that we're in this parking garage, maybe jumping in front of the cars is not good enough. Maybe she was going to attempt suicide from jumping off of this damn garage. And that wasn't going to happen on my watch. I wasn't going to happen on my watch. So I turned around. I'm looking for her now. Garage, mind you, right now I think on the third floor, clear. I don't know if this woman's under the car, but I'm looking, but something in me did not have the heart to look over the back, like look around the ledges of the garage. Like I just knew that already standing there and even worried about where she was at that point. I'm like, where the fuck did she go? Where did she go? That's when I got off the phone with the police. Like, now y'all are playing, y'all are helping me. I have to help her. I'm looking around. This woman is gone. Like, wholeheartedly gone. And I'm like, what the fuck? I ain't crazy. I want y'all to know that other people did see this woman. This is not a figment of my imagination. I was not having a mental break. This is something that genuinely happened. At that time, when I noticed I did not see her, I did not hear anything hit the ground, which is what I was also scared of hearing. That was my biggest fear. Is just even hearing was not going to set well with me. So I realized I'm alone, and I decided to now walk down the garage back to go find everyone to see if anybody had called police or anything. I went down, and at the bottom, my friend was there waiting on me. At that time, I was shook, like, had no words. And by the time I made it out the garage and I had met my friend, by the time we had made it to that like corner where the Deeply Cafe was, which is literally right by the entrance of the parking garage, I see the police car come. And it's one car, and he's just kind of strolling. He's like, "Hi, what's going on?" I basically filled him in, gave him her information. And as we were going and leaving, we finally leave downtown. I had a long drive, baby, to sit with what I had experienced. A long one. And all I kept thinking was, if she had more than just me there, what we could have did for her. And not only did it make me do that, it made me reflect on how many times I had been in that space, and now being on the other side of it, meaning I'm not going to act like I had a deep connection with this woman. This is just literally a woman I hadn't seen and was like intrigued by, and also felt called to help. In that moment, it made me realize how many times it can affect the people around you that are there. I like to be able to give myself accountability smacks when I need one, and that was one I needed, because I realized how selfish it literally could come off to someone that is literally running and running and running and pleading. But also, it's like, now understanding that woman and being in that space so many times, how many times did she say it in passing conversations? Then how many times did she tell and ask for help when y'all know that's not of her nature? And then how many checked on her? And not y'all as like y'all did it, y'all. I'm saying the people in her community, the people in her space, the people in her life. And that goes for the same people in my life too. Like, I realized that it takes time for a person to get to that space. It's not just oh, this happened. It's no, there's been something building within, underneath. There's something that when they're suppressing and that they're not trying to face, emotions that they're suppressing and that they're not trying to face. Then there's a reality that's happened that's also reflecting those negative emotions that person's going through and facing and experiencing. And then it's always the reinstatement, I'm realizing, of the people not caring, the community, or feeling like alone in a community or in a world full of people. Because I realized what would make her want to go to a place that has so many people in a mental space like that alone. And it's because she felt alone in a world full of people. What would make you act out and ask for help? Like, literally have actions. Think about children. Even children do things that are cries for help that we kind of pass off as you whining, complaining. There's nothing wrong with you. There couldn't be anything wrong with you. Which reinstates to a person, your problems don't matter and you're making them small, like you're making them bigger than what they are. No, they are very much big to that person in their reality and their emotion and in their experience. And I remember my friend was, when I was driving home, he was like, Wow. I'm glad you were there because you did something about it. And I was just like, yeah, but in my head, and this is no self righteousness shit, I just wish that someone else had a heart called to move